Hi there. This is Painting Platinum number 63. I think my mic is working. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But today we're going to be continuing the Bog Witch, and I'm going to be giving away for every 5 subs, I'm going to be giving away one of the Reaper Triad that's going to be in the swag box. So, that is 29149, 29150, and 29151. That's not a very pretty one, but the Brian Wind Brass, Rusted Anchor, and Black Pearl. So that's going to be our giveaway for today. Let's see. Let me pull up chat. Oh, good. I'm so happy. Okay. Hi, guys. Let's see. Lots of people in here. That's awesome. Yes. Maladrock Black Pearl is shimmery. Oh, okay. Yeah. So what happened was I had my cousin's baby shower today. And one of the activities was you could take a onesie or a bib or something else and you could tie-dye it and stamp it and whatever. And I made a super cute one, but I got it all over my hands. They had gloves there and I was using them for a little while, but when I tried to tie-dye the bib, I didn't have a whole lot of control. So I kind of gave up on that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to our regular camera so you can see what we're working on. So last time, yeah, and you'll have to forgive my hands because I got home last night. I've been so tired that I didn't feel like doing my nails because though I would enjoy doing it, it probably takes me 2 to 3 hours every time I like redo my acrylics. And when I redo my acrylics, I'll just show them off in all their like awful glory, but that's from the tie-dye, but like this is pretty much permanent. So anywhere where your hands get dry, if you use any kind of pigment and even nail polish, people that paint their nails will notice if you paint your nails, it'll get into your cuticles, and if you decide you don't want it, you take it off, it'll stay in there. So it's not the worst occupational hazard. So yeah, I'm sparkly too because I worked in the metallic shed last night, the sparkle shed. So I am fully, it's so hard to get off of everywhere, especially because, to be fair, I don't wash my hair every time I take a shower or even rinse it. So, hi, Smallish Sam. Let's see. D. Clearman. Happy Saturday. And it is a super happy Saturday. Like, at the baby shower, it got kind of rainy, and I was like, man, it's just a good vibe kind of day. Like, the only thing that would make it just perfect is if it weren't so humid today. It is so nasty humid. Yeah, I can't wash my hair every day. Spoons. It takes my toner out, and then my hair is yellow because when you bleach your hair, it still has a little yellow in it if it has any kind of integrity, so you have to counteract it. The level of yellow it is wouldn't be bad on somebody with really warm skin, but mine is not really warm, so it looks crazy. Let's see, I've been trying soft soap brand with aloe vera in it to try and cure up some problems on my hands. So I use Aquaphor, and I try to use it at night, but I forget, and that works pretty well. And when I had my burn and I was out, I think I was out almost 2 weeks, it got better. But yeah. So I just went to a food truck rally and ate tacos from my buddy's taco truck. A food truck rally. That's awesome. That's really cool. And you know, what I really like about food trucks is I really think it lets people kind of have a business and kind of start creating sort of their dream little company on a small scale. There's a lot of regulations as with anything else, but I think that's really cool. I already bleach it like to hell, so I figure the least I can do is not shampoo it. Plus, I've got naturally curly hair, but my curl pattern's a little messed up from damage. So if I don't do anything to it, it's just nutty. Like, not that it matters, because most days I just wear my hair in a ponytail. Thank you, Freestyle HQ. Thank you, Albevazin. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me actually create and open our giveaway while I show off these colors. So the rusted anchor is not sparkly, but just by nature of me making this tile on a day that I worked with sparkles, it became sparkly, but it is not. This is the black pearl, and this is Brinewind brass. They'll be a little different in person compared to through the camera and on the monitor, but they're really pretty. I'm really excited. So let's see. Thank you. So let me get the giveaway going. I've got it almost to the point where I know what's going on and I can get it going. Thank you. Thank you, Crows and Bones. Oh, maybe one day we'll do a sparkly rusty anchor. I would like that too. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make my giveaway. It'll all become second nature just in time for, I'm sure, something to happen that I don't have to do it anymore. All right, and we are going to give away the Swag Box Triad. It's not going to be packaged in the same way it'll be in the Swag Box, but that's okay. I hope. And we're also giving away a Pokey Tool. It's going to be the original Pokey Tool. I believe there are more Pokey Tools now. Okay, opened. Giveaway is open. So you can hashtag free it. Yeah, we'll definitely send you some Crows and Bones. Let's see. Ron usually gets to that. Ron came and grabbed a couple of the colors for Rhonda, but the Black Pearl wasn't done. It's not pumped yet, but I can make sure it gets pumped. But yeah, so oh my goodness, Pendrake, you made a Pokey Tool by hand. What kind of Pokey Tool? But yeah, that's it. I'm pretty excited about it. I love sparkly colors. They tend to kind of take a long time to decide just what I want because the sparkles change it so much that it's hard to just like pick a swatch and say, this is what I'm going to do. Whereas with a flat color, I can go in and I could pretty much make it out of whatever we have. The only thing, so I watched this guy on Instagram, and I'll have to tell you next time his name, but what he does is he will take a blank like not cardstock, like Bristol paper or whatever, watercolor paper, whatever paper. He'll take a blank piece of paper and he'll put it in front of, like, say this, and he will custom make the color like right in front of it until it matches, and it's really, really cool. And he had one where somebody asked about neon colors, and I think neon colors are one of the things that if you wanted to make a really bright neon color, you can only get so bright unless you use a very specific thing. But I mean, we get pretty bright. We have some neon colors. But yeah, so you can pretty much make anything. So if somebody were to give me a swatch or a color or something they like, I can pretty much do it with bottles and not have to make a whole gallon of it. And because I love spreadsheets so much, the other thing I've done is I've created this spreadsheet tab that is for conversion. So if somebody wanted a smaller, like down to, I think the smallest I could do very easily is 4 bottles. Just depending on the color, because then you're getting into cc's, and once you get into like parts of cc's, it's like whatever. But so we have that ability too. And what's funny is when I was out, Bryn was trained and pretty much just had to go by my notes. And I'd done like a pretty good job of having instructions, but one thing was that conversion tab. So she looked through all the tabs and she saw that, and it was kind of like, Bryn just thought, wow, that's really complicated. I wonder what that is. So yeah, just microwave until they glow. Exactly. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get back to painting this lady. Her eyes look really, really bright, like in a not so great way, which is something I didn't really understand, but I sort of get now. I'm still seeing a lot of white. The readers will help. So last week I forgot my mag lamp and my readers. This week I remembered for sure. Maybe I'll... Oh my gosh, I've got the best idea ever. Maybe. No, that's not going to work. I thought I would put it like this and flip it, but it won't work. I'll just hold it. You'll just have to stare at my crazy hands this whole time. Let's see what I can do. How about that? All right. Well, thank you, spoons. Yeah, my boyfriend thinks it's like kind of cool. He especially likes when I have paint all over my glasses, because he says it reminds him of his grandpa, who was a painter. Yeah, I'm cosplaying. I'm trying to make it stick. Even before working in this department, like when I was a middle schooler, I think, even late elementary school, I was always drawing on myself. And my mom and stepdad tried to deter me from it, and basically were like, we're gonna get you a tattoo. Like, are you ready to go get a tattoo? And I think they thought I'd be like, no, I don't want a tattoo. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I think I wanted a, I don't know, who it was, but somebody had a neck tattoo in the 90s, and I wanted like a paw with claws like on my neck. But I don't know. I grew out of that. My mom freaked out when my sister and I went and got our tattoos. I got mine at 17. I knew somebody that knew a place that you could go, which when you're 17 is like, oh my gosh, how cool. And when you're older, you're like, oh my God, how not cool. Well, Chef of Love, we're kind of weird, so I think it feels like home, kind of thing. I say that, but a lot of times my boyfriend reminds me of my grandma, so. We both grew up with our grandparents, like him with his parents and his grandparents, but me with mostly my grandparents. So, oh no, I don't think it has. I'm gonna have to ask. Oh, your dad and you have matching tattoos. Hold fast. I like that. I like that a lot. Man, somebody needs to get... I say somebody needs to get matching tattoos with me, and I would really like one, but they're so expensive. I really can't justify the cost of getting a tattoo. Raccoon Mario. My grandma played so much Mario. Oh, very stern army man. No, my grandpa tried to get into the army or the military in general, but he had a hernia and like get this, he didn't get the hernia fixed for like 10 years. I'm like, "What? You were just walking around with a I don't even know what a hernia is exactly. A piece of your muscle kind of sticking out?" No, your guts. Did your guts come out your muscle? Oof. But yeah, so he didn't end up in the military, and I don't know if it really would have changed his personality much. Um, I haven't known too many people to go into the military. My cousin went in, but he's pretty much the same. Ooh, jail tattoos. I definitely thought about that too. Uh, I had a friend that did some piercings, but I won't really talk too much about that. I don't want to encourage anybody. Like, don't pierce yourself for other people. It's never like, or tattoos. Don't do that stuff. That's so not good. It's funny how you grow up sometimes so different, because that's something I would be so afraid of now. Like, I think I would be more cautious about going into a real tattoo shop even. But my best friend from middle school, we used to draw together, and I taught her. I don't think I taught her how to draw, but I think we drew together, and she always says I taught her how to draw. But she is like a working artist, like without a regular day job, and I'm really, really proud of her. And she does beautiful work. She's gotten to the point now where she pretty much only accepts jobs that she's excited about and thinks are really cool. She opens her books like quarterly, and you can send an email that day and she'll decide whether or not she's going to take you, and that's really cool. Marine twice and a not so nice person for a bit too. Aren't we all? I've been on the not so nice person vibe. Um, Not that I really let myself express it a lot, but I have been so stressed out at night that I'm kind of like, hey, I'm like gonna be not so nice. I'm overwhelmed. But luckily, um, I just kind of have the kind of relationships. I mean, I guess things just work out. If you're that type of person, you attract people that are cool with that. But my best friend and I, we can go a while without talking, and we know we're busy, and it's all love and it's nothing weird. And same with my boyfriend. Like, we talk every day, but if I tell him, I'm like, hey, I don't feel like peopling, he totally gets it. I'm sure I've said this before, but we're both INFJ personality types, whether or not you subscribe to that or whatever. But so it's nice to have people that get it. It seems to always be family. Like, I have some family that if you don't call them, they're like, what, you never call? And then you feel bad, but it's, you know, it kind of feels like we're in a situation where people are so busy. Spoons, I assume you mean the INFJ. The Spoon says, I don't even know what that means. It's the Myers-Briggs personality profiles, and it decides, let me think, you can be introverted or extroverted. N is intuitive, I think, and there's something else. F is feeling or perceiving, and T, you can be thinking or judging. I think that's what it is. I think there's two of every kind. The only thing I did notice that I was like, that's kind of something to this, is when I worked in a salon, a lot of us had the same I feel like I go back and forth between ENFJ and INFJ. But as I've gotten older, oh man, I just wrecked this. Chef of Love, no. I just think some people are like that. I don't know. My mom and I don't talk a whole lot. And I always call her and I feel like I'm bothering her. But I just think it's because she works her ass off. And I never thought I would get this way, but I've developed my mom's work ethic, which is actually like we both have a really poor work-life balance skills. We're just not, neither of us are very good at it. So I remember when I was a kid, like my mom would either be totally hands-on, pretty much like, you know, super mom or whatever, or like the best employee, but she had trouble doing both, and I'm totally that way. Yeah, I had a cousin that always told me, you know, well, they know the phone works both ways, because he got it worse than I did. You never call. That's too much red. That wasn't smart. That's okay though. For the next mini I'm doing, I'm actually thinking about taking almost like a silhouette, like I have the Sir 4 scale, but like make a coloring book page out of it and pre-color it before, so that I can decide what I want to do with it and have a guideline, because I hate when I change my mind. It's nice to have the freedom to do that, but at the same time I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate that I go back and forth, because you can cover it, but then you run the risk of losing some details. Like I've done with the wings that I test paint on. You can kind of see that they've turned into clouds. You can't tell they're wings anymore. Steve Skellerman, what do you mean you Christmas treat it? We had to take that test for a salon that I worked at. So I got the job and I had filled out all my paperwork, and then they made me fill out all those get to know you paperwork, and I rush through things. I cannot sit and take tests. I can't sit and fill stuff out. I rushed through it. So I rushed through it, and it ended up being what they were emailing all the customers, like on the mailing list, information about me. And I'm like, I wish I would have known that before. I would have spent a little bit more time. It was sweet and all, but yeah. Okay, let's see. It's a timer test taking method of answering multiple choice on a diagonal, so your test looks like a garland around a Christmas tree. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, you could do that. Okay, so Pendrick explains it. Sadie is referring to a questionnaire based on Carl Jung's and Isabel Briggs Myers' personality type theory. Upon completion of the questionnaire, you will obtain your 4-letter type formula according to Carl Jung and Isabel Briggs Myers' typology, along with strengths of the preferences and the description of your personality type. I like that. I like stuff like that just to use as a tool. Like, you can't take it all 100%, but it can be helpful. One I talk about a lot is it, I really don't know what this one's from, but where I heard it was a podcast. I think it was called The Happiness Project. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but there are these types of people. So there are people that are upholders, where they always want to follow the rules. There are people that are rebels. They pretty much never want to follow the rules, just for the sake of, they just don't want to follow them. Then there are people, I don't remember what they're called, that'll follow the rules if they make sense to them. So if you explain to somebody, we do this because of this, There are those people. And then there are people that will follow the rules to help other people, but aren't really good at following the rules for themselves. And that's me. So like, if you had like somebody wrote an email about it and said, we have a whole team, like, I don't know, it was like a kickball team or something. And they're all this type of person and a lot of them don't show up. And their advice was, if you let them know that it really helps everybody else have a good time, when they all show up, they'll start showing up more. I'm an INFJ. Yeah. Introverted, intuitive, feeling, judging. But I've been an ENFJ before, but always NFJ. Anytime, I don't know, because I'm kind of skeptical of stuff, so I'll take it over and over again just to like make sure I'm not fooling it. And the NFJ never changed. Oops. There was another one that my boyfriend had somebody tell him to take, and I took that, and I don't remember what it was called, but it was a number system, and I don't remember what number I was either. I remember seeing it and being like, well, that's not very flattering. Maybe keep that to myself. Oh, and then there was another one. I dated a guy that worked at a wilderness therapy program, like Bad Kids Camp, pretty much. And they had something where they had these archetypes. There were, grown up or like adult ego state and child ego state personality types. And, he told me that I seemed like a little professor, which was, a child ego state personality type. But who can really trust, a partner for stuff like that when things aren't, when it's not the right partner? That's why everybody thinks their ex is a narcissist, which some people's exes are narcissists. But I've noticed, you get on Reddit and you're like, man, isn't everybody's ex a narcissist? ENFJ, INTJ, ENFP, INFJ. Yeah, I could see that. Crows and bones. And I don't notice it during the day, so I get really excited to see people and talk to people. And this is another thing I learned from that happiness project podcast, is that when you're the type of person that's like a people pleaser that does things to help other people, a lot of times your partner doesn't become like other people. Your partner becomes like an extension of yourself. So it's really hard to be like accountability buddies with your partner. And I've noticed I don't really fake the whole, and it doesn't even feel like you fake it, right? It's like you're excited to see people, you talk to people, whatever. And then at the end of the day, you get in your car and you're like, wow, like that was a wild ride. Hey, you gotta have somebody out who's a little out there somewhere in the mix. It's just gotta be your type of out there. Protagonist and campaigner. Yeah, and they have names too. I don't remember what mine is. The job I worked at where they had us take these tests, they tended to promote certain types of people. So it made me wonder. I was like, I wonder how much they use this. Do they use it more in dealing with people's, I don't know. We also did the love languages thing there. It was kind of an interesting place. This guy started a salon and he was a marketing major. And so he considered the salon to just be the vessel for the experience that they were trying to create. Like, you're selling this experience. And the experience was, obviously relaxing and whatever, but it was also kind of a club. Like you could have a membership and there was a sense of belonging. I don't know, there was all these different elements, but he had kind of a different way of looking at things than a lot of places. But yeah, I don't know if he was just like, I say he was pretty involved, but I'm sure he wasn't the one that did most of the dealing with people and internal stuff, but I just wonder how much they used. Or if it's just coincidentally managers tended to be, I think it was INTP or something. No, love languages are how you express and feel appreciated, I think is the way you would describe it for that. So like words of affirmation, gifts, quality time, touch, I think are what they are. All right, spoons is an INFP or an INTP. So introverted or extroverted. No. Introverted, intuitive, feeling perceiving, or thinking perceiving. And then of course there's the astrology track, which I don't know, like I can be kind of skeptical, but I sort of, what is the meme that goes around that's like, if astrology is bullshit, then how come Geminis act like that? And I don't really experience with Geminis, but like, I love Virgos. I'll realize I really like somebody and that they're a Virgo a lot. Which is funny because Leos and Virgos aren't supposed to get along, but I have some weird stuff in my chart. I cook to show love. Good thing I could cook. That is a very loving act, cooking for someone. Let's see. Almost sacred. Like as people, our ability to cook and to feed people is such a huge part of our survival. It's got to be ingrained in us somewhere that like, hey, this is almost spiritual, the act of keeping somebody alive. Yeah. Mexican food is one of the things that I've been like, man, that'd be great. And it's not as if you couldn't learn, but it feels as if you can't. It feels like you just have to know. I had somebody, one of my friends was like, why don't we make sopapillas? And I'm like, no, you can't make sopapillas. You just have to know how to make them. Which of course you can, but. Or tamales. We have a guy that brings those up around the holidays. It's wonderful. It's so neat. Because that's not just cooking either. That's like culture. So neat. I love that. Way to do something like that in sociology where we all brought something that was kind of, I think it was supposed to be related to like something you ate when you were a kid or something. I don't remember what the instructions were, or maybe it was just to see kind of what people would bring. But I was going to bring cookies and then I slept late. Rest is a part of my culture. My personal family dynamic. It was a lot of why don't you go lay down and get some rest? Take a nap. Maybe that's just because I was a grumpy kid, like a kind of bratty kid. And my grandma was a feeder. She would always, anytime anybody would come over, she'd be like, "Are you hungry?" And you know, even if they were like, not really. And she's like, I'll make you grilled cheese. That was her big thing. Make you grilled cheese. So I've created a sort of wash. What I should actually do is create a wash not just using water. Well, I don't know if I made a wash or a glaze. I think I made a wash. I was intending to make a wash. But in Anne's class, where she taught about thinning paints, she talked about using, I think it's 9107 brush on sealer, and mixing that in instead of just water, so it upholds kind of the bonding in the paint. It doesn't just flow out. Blessed to grow up in the kitchen learning from my mom. We cooked lots of chile being from New Mexico. Yeah, I remember you saying you were from New Mexico because we were talking about when we decorated the studio, I wanted a Santísima Muerte candle. I think I got one. I think Justin let me put that in. A lot of the stuff Justin was like, this is a little iffy for Reaper, but that one, because it has kind of a Reaper-esque look to it, they let me use. And Michael was there, and he had mentioned it was pretty cool and somewhat around where he was from. I mean, here too as well. I don't know about as much in Dallas. DFW rather, not Dallas, but my grandma always told me after her and my grandpa got married that he made her bologna soup one time when they were first married, and it was kind of gross. It was very sweet though. This is Gug Umber. Yeah, Gug Umber. And I like that this is giving her kind of her bog look back. Ooh, my wife has been on an anti-inflammation diet. It's changed a lot of how we eat. No more fried spam for one. That's another. Okay, so like I had my best friend in elementary school through middle school, like we had a band together. We were really close, was half Japanese, and we would practice at her house all the time, and her mom would make us like the nicest little plate, and she would make stir fry with tofu, and I'd never eaten tofu before, or with spam in it, with tofu and spam. I'd never eaten spam before, but she made it. It was really good. I just thought I was like, man, that's so funny. Like, this is the first time I've eaten spam. And, like my mom, her generation, I think they ate a lot more spam. I just don't know if it was as prevalent in, the 80s, 90s. Maybe it was. Yeah, and really popular in Hawaii as well. Well, inflammation themes like kind of a big part of a lot of our troubles. And there's lots of stuff that you can consume that reduces inflammation. What am I thinking? Turmeric? I think that's a good one. Yeah, I like that. It's white, but it's dirty. Oh my God, that's so funny. Regifting a 20-year-old can of Spam. That's so funny. I found some really old collector's Cokes in my grandma's house. And I've been thinking, like, should I break this up and drink it? See what's up with it? And then I don't know why, like, nobody in my immediate family smokes, but I also found a I don't know, something anniversary pack of Camels, like old cigarettes. And I was like, there's something in me that's just like, I've got to smoke one of these old cigarettes and see what happens. Probably just be really gross. And then my great grandpa and my grandpa did that with tobacco. There was I think it was a gross tobacco. Yeah, I'm not going 2 spoons. Mostly because I'm dramatic and I was scared I'd die. And then people be like, oh yeah, she died. She smoked really old cigarettes and just died right there. I mean, cigarettes get stale really fast. You know, a regular amount of time. Those are, I don't know how old they are. Might be older than me. My age, older than me. Yeah, I like that. It's like she's dripping with swamp goodness. A few months ago, I did a roast speed run. Forgot to turn it down after the initial heat, so we cooked about 2 hours at 450. Well, that's good. That's still pretty good. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I should have paid better attention. My family does brisket. And like my grandpa made meatloaf. I don't know how to make meatloaf. I know there's something to do with a board. I think it's like a pan inside of a pan with a board and with, I don't know, so it like drips out. And I don't know. There's a something to it. But there's always that story of, I don't remember what it was. It was like, oh, when you're making mom's turkey or chicken, you have to cut it in half and cook it in 2 different containers, and it has to be cooked that way because this, and this. And then somebody in the family said, no, it's because she didn't have a big enough pan to cook it in. So I don't know. Yeah, my grandpa was in construction, and he had like an engineering type mind. He was always trying to like do different stuff. So who knows what he was trying to do. I mean, obviously, there was a board involved. It's obviously a construction guy kind of thing. I don't know why I grabbed this. I'm kind of absent-mindedly painting. I like to bake, but a lot of people don't, because when something's baked, it's baked. It's there's not a whole lot you can do with it. And what I've heard is that when you cook, you can kind of adjust things as you go. The board would be to make the meatloaf flat on the sides. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Galvin Crafts. We're talking about I think family recipes and cooking and Spam. Spam's like those little, to me, like those little Vienna sausages, I think. Don't like that as much that I did this, but we'll just roll with it and kind of see where it gets us. I don't hate it. I might add elements of that to the skirt too. I did not bring the brushes that I wanted to use. And I'm really not good to brushes. So, especially the synthetic ones, I can mess them up really quick. I'm getting better about it. I think it's just being mindful about what you do with it. Just make my meatloaf on a cookie sheet after forming it in a pan. If you cut it in half, it cooks faster too. Yeah, that's true. I hate meat. I hate cooking meat and working with meat. I really, really hate it because, especially if it's something that's pretty solid. Ironically enough, I don't mind cooking ground beef, but like that can go really bad. Really, I mean, it has to be well cooked. Like that's something that can make you really sick. But like, I really don't like making chicken because I'm just paranoid about it. And I should just buy like a thermometer and check it. But I think I end up overdoing it. I don't think I'm a very good cook. I cooked something the other day. Oh, I cooked rice and it was like gummy and gross. And I was like, oh no. I'm not a good cook. My wife makes a mean stromboli bread. Probably. I'm thinking about asking to have the Painting Platinum Discord back because I don't know. I feel kind of weird because sometimes there's stuff that we talk about that goes in the Painting Platinum uh Discord channel, I guess, that is sort of like weird that I wouldn't want to like put in the stream discussion place and inflict it on everybody. And also, so like the other thing, I was thinking about adding some kind of planned content, like maybe talking about interesting stuff. So, like I was thinking about doing maybe a little bit of true crime, but mostly stuff they would talk about unsolved mysteries, like on unsolved mysteries, but not as like mysteries and crime, but not like Debbie Downer crime. Maybe a little bit of Debbie Downer crime. Uh, yeah, a little bit, but um, mostly like I don't know, different stuff. It's good that you like it, Spoons, because it will likely always be that way. Of the available paints, what color do you love? Okay, so lately, hmm, there are two different types of things that I really like lately. Lately, I like really bright yellow, so like 9409 or 9009 or 9287. Um, but then I also like the almost black browns. So 9136, 9137, 9440. I don't know if there are any other ones. So oh, I love this green. This is a Pathfinder green. This is alchemical green. That's something I should mention too because I love that green. Pathfinder, I've mentioned this before, but Pathfinder has really nice pinks. I'll just go ahead and show these real quick. Pinks and purples. So that's something that, because pinks don't sell that well, we don't end up making a whole lot of new pinks. But Pathfinder got to choose their colors. Like they chose what they wanted, we made it for them, whatever. So they had some pinks in there. So there's a peachy pink, just like a regular sort of rosy pink. This is a more muted, I would say a neutral pink, neutral worm. Yeah, Painting Platinum Pathfinder edition. This one's really pretty. Thuvian Sun Orchid. and Mana Waste Gray. Mana Waste Gray, it's really hard to see. It's not really showing it accurately, but I love this color. Love it, love it. Sunspawn Pink looks like Brains Pink. Yeah, that's true. And Sunspawn Pink. So we had this big mystery one time. Where is Sunspawn Pink? Do I not have it? Or was it changed? Oh, no, this is Sunspawn Pink. Yeah, it does look like Brains Pink. This was the color, I think, that we used to have a different name, and we were trying to figure out what it was, because we knew it was a Pathfinder paint. We had released it as a promotional, like, hey, this is coming out, and then we changed the name. Something dog pink. But then we changed, I think it was Sunspawn. And somebody asked, hey, where do you get this? I can't find it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what that color is. So Goblin Dog Pink. Yes. So I went to Ron, and this was one of our big Reaper mysteries, was what happened to this color? It's not in the formulas. I couldn't find it anywhere. And that's what it was, that we changed the name. Or they changed the name, because they got to pick their names too. I don't have the alchemical green here. I'm sure I used it for something and didn't put it back. That's my MO. Making future me work for it. Let's see. It took me a little while to go looking for more pinks. When I started painting, I put 3 orders in all in October. So I had 3 bottles of breast cancer awareness pink. So I just always went with that. That's a good one. And if I'm not mistaken, breast cancer pink is a nearly clear. Like, it doesn't have a whole lot of pigments in it. I think that's what Anne calls them, is like a nearly clear, almost clear. So you can mix it without being like, oh, that obviously had a little ochre in it or whatever. Which I'm all for. I might have gone too far with this. I don't know, though. Contrast is good with minis. Too far is probably far enough, to be honest. And I'm just not used to it yet. I'm honestly really liking all of this. I kind of want to do some shadows and highlights on the hair. And I want to fix the hair under here. So what I did... that is what I use for hair. This is one of my favorites too. I'm not really good at knowing what's useful for paint, but I do really gravitate towards certain colors, and this Osirian sand color, I love it. I love it so much. Just really, really pale yellow. Yeah, one day future me is going to find present me kick in the butt for giving me so many problems. I feel guilty because I lose stuff. I lose stuff all the time. And the, let's see. The production, I think she's going to end up being the production side of paint manager. But she's almost sort of like my right-hand person, and I always lose things. I always lose things, and she always knows where I've put them. And even when she doesn't, like yesterday, she was like, I don't know, where did you hide that? And when she said hide, I found it. I was like, oh, I know where that is. Oh, cool. I'm so glad, Crows and Bones. I like it. I think I like it for hair. It sort of looks like it goes with the blonde hair triad. I'm always looking for a cool blonde solution. And what I try to do, I haven't found like my perfect platinum hair, but what I think it will end up being once I can execute it properly is a yellow, like a pale yellow with a glaze of violet and some really light taupe shadows and white or almost white highlights. I think that's what I'm looking for in that. I don't know if we'll ever... I think we're getting away from triads because it's so hard to come up with a new triad. Besides, for like ReaperCon or whatever. We've got some cool triads coming out for ReaperCon for the VIP box bag, VIP swag, whatever. That are going to be Dragon Folk skin colors. I'll have to show those off next. I haven't nailed down one of them completely, but there's going to be a red, a pink, and a sort of terracotta color. My local mini store is cool because any Reaper minis they have there that happen to be broken, they discount them for people that still want them. It's pretty cool. Let's see. Oh yeah, I meant to answer that. Galvin Craft says I'm planning to do a paint purchase soon. What color type should you have a bunch of shades for? Purples and blues and most of all reds. I think we have a lot. I think we have every red. It's so hard to come up with a new red and not hit another one. Yeah. I think purples, blues, and reds. That's really neat. Captain Waddles. I think they can send them back, but I don't know what the logistics would be as far as that. But I know if you ever have something like that, you can email Katie at help@reapermini.com and they'll usually get you fixed up. They're pretty good about whatever people need to get going. I don't want to do that yet. Maybe I'll use Gugumber in the hair too. I'll just go for a almost... Nah, I don't know. Yeah, actually, I think I'm not going to find anything I like better than that for this particular thing. I'm just going to water it down a lot. What was the mix of the Bog Witch's skin again? Let me find it, because somebody put it... Pendrake, I think, put it in the Discord. And I can still see the Painting Platinum Discord. You guys just can't. But then I had to change it because I didn't remember the... Let's see. I didn't remember the ratios I did. And Pendrake might have included that too. Let's see. I'll have to... This will tell me when I started this too. Sorry, I know this is like interesting, but I also super want to know. Let's see. You guys should do dyads, a color and its shadow. Oh yeah, I meant to ask you what a dyad was, but that totally makes sense. I'm gonna look up custom, maybe? I don't remember. I'll look up skin within Painting Platinum, I think. In Okay. No. I know that. I think Milwaukee Brown was in it. Okay, yeah, here it is. Yay, I found it. Um, Sadie mixed an interesting muted pink today. Boggard green. I think it was equal parts of Boggard green, Milwaukee brown, Mana Waste gray, and Sugathi purple. Let's try it. Boggard green, Milwaukee brown, Mana Waste gray, Sugathi purple. And maybe that's what I did wrong. Maybe I didn't mix them equally. Like I thought that one needed to be more Arc Lord, Plasma, Sugathi, Goblin green, and I think I used Hodog green last time instead of that. Milwaukee brown. And just one more. Mana Waste gray. Perfect. All right, see you later, Steve Skellerman. Let's see. Ooh, a build your own triad pack. I'd love that. The only thing about that is then packaging would have to package it. And the way that they do that, if it's still the way it was when I did it, is they would have they have a computer program that brings up the part number and everything that's in it. Now, internet could do it, but then it wouldn't be packaged. I wonder if we still, like, I hate that I'm asking you guys this, but I wonder if we still have our build your own paint set. The paint caddy. I think we do. Maybe not, though. I probably shouldn't bring it up if I don't know we have it. But, yeah. Okay, let me see. I made a metallic color yesterday. It was really pretty and everything, but the pre-mixed version of it is, it looks like unicorn vomit. That's the kind of thing I would post in the Painting Platinum Discord, that I would be less, I guess general chat is where I would go with it. There's got to be something else to this. I think I did more of something before. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's the drying shift. I just put a little more Sugathi purple in it. But that is what it looks like wet. I used regular paper in my wet palette today because I went to that baby shower. I did not leave myself very much time. I set up my computer and everything last night. I actually had something I wanted to mix today, but I don't think I'm going to. I've been really trying to rest on Saturdays. Something I've really taken for granted is that during the pandemic, my boyfriend didn't have a whole lot of demos to go to. So, demos and like events. And now that it's kind of ending, I think that he's going to have more to go to. And so before the shows, there's like cranking out a bunch of stuff to sell at the shows, and then he's gone for the shows, whatever. So I was like, I should probably see him this weekend because he has a show at the end of the month. He's a lamp worker, like a glass blower, and he makes jewelry and marbles, and I think he's gotten to where he makes accessories to functional stuff, but he doesn't make the functional, like he doesn't make pipes or anything like that. He tries to keep it classy type thing. Make stuff that mom would want. He turns on lamps for rich people in a uniform of their choice. He's the clapper. They'll clap and he'll come in and turn it on. But yeah, so he's got one. So then when I get to where I'm not busy and I'm not burnt out, he's got to do stuff. And it's kind of how they all do it. So there was this one time I had to take him to the airport, and he finished what he was doing and put it in the kiln. So like with glass, it's very sensitive to temperature change. So you put it in the kiln, as I understand it, you turn the kiln off and it slowly cools, and it has to slowly cool, get to room temperature before you can take it out and go somewhere. Well, he made this piece for somebody or that he needed for the show and finished it with just enough time for it to cool in the kiln. So it was this high stress thing of like, we've got to get to the airport in time. And he takes it out of the kiln before it's quite ready, keeps it wrapped up, doesn't look at it until I think he gets on the plane to decide if it's made it or not. And for me, that is so stressful. It makes me sick. Like I can't even think about it when stuff like that happens. But they kind of end up doing that. Like he told me that him and the guy who taught him would make stuff all night and then let it cool down and leave the next day. But for me, I would just be thinking like, is it okay? Is it done? Is it going to make it? You know, not to mention cutting it close at the airport. On one of those experiences, it was in the afternoon this time. I took him to the airport to go somewhere, and I kind of thought he was going to miss his flight, and then he did. So I bought a box of fried chicken, and I put it in the seat because I was like, he's going to be so mad. And he gets in the car, and there's chicken there, and I was like, oh, look, fried chicken. Oh, wow. And I had to go back to work. I was working at a salon, and this guy said, I want a partner that brings me fried chicken when I'm really mad. I'm like, yeah, that's a sweet part. Please don't be mad. I'll throw food at you. Like you're an animal. I like this a lot more than anything I think I've painted so far. I know I keep gushing over it, but I love this sculpt so much. It's so cute. Constellation chicken, that's exactly what it is. It's like, what were we talking about the other day? Oh, we were talking about the show The Office. Like 3 people in the department were like, that show's garbage. And I was like, it's not Citizen Kane, but it's the macaroni and cheese of television, you know? I like it. And then I went into like, I like Degrassi. No, I can't fire him. But one's going to the game store, and he's really, like, I love this guy. He's one of the people I thought about when it was, like, pandemic time and time to bring back more people. And I was like, why don't we bring him back? But he really loves working at the store. And warehouse work is not for everybody. Like, it's too repetitive for a lot of people. So I think he's kind of that person. So sometimes I'll mess with him and I'll say, you're so good. I think I'm going to talk to Bill about keeping you. And I'll like smile at him. And he's like, no. And I'm like, you're fine. Bill's going to take you back. And then he has a friend that just got hired that I think we're going to keep in here. And I like him. He's fun. I like people that are nice and that can be a little silly. That's my big thing. I've learned, and I don't think everybody's like this. I've met people that are like, hey, that's not my thing, but to me, nice is the top quality. If people can get along, that goes so far for people wanting to come in. Yeah, hard to be mad with a drumstick in your hand, and hard to be mad when you have food waiting for you. That's true. Ooh, the Mutt Mansion. Is the Mutt Mansion real? Is it a dog show? Oh my gosh, Chef of Love, that's so funny. Was watching Parks and Rec and missed the last 4 episodes. Oh, it's on Twitch. I'm gonna have to check that out. My like guilty pleasure is Degrassi. I love watching Degrassi. Cinder Brown was canceled and I could never get a bottle, and now I need a shadow color for Volcano Brown. Would Mahogany Brown suffice? I think so. I think so. I think I just made Mahogany Brown. The only thing is it's quite a bit warmer, like it's got more red in it, if I remember correctly. But, those are hard. Those are such nice colors, and I think that people didn't gravitate to them as much because they're kind of ashy. Let me think about it. I'm actually gonna write that down. And if I don't know, turns out I know somebody who will. And I'll put it in my phone. Oh, thanks, Spoons. It probably doesn't help you right now for picking up paints, but shadow for Cinder or Volcano Brown. Perfect. Guys, I watched this show recently. You're welcome. Oh no, Risa still not working for me, so I figured I'd gift one Risa whenever it finally works. I appreciate it. I got really into this podcast that's on YouTube that's Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. So like Bobby Lee, he was on Mad TV and he's been on like a whole bunch of television and movies. I think his most recent was like he was on the reboot of Hawaii Five-0 a few times. And Andrew Santino, he's been on the show Dave, and he's been on it's been in a few things, but I think I first saw him on Joe Rogan's podcast and on Theo Vaughn's podcast. So all of those are like super gold. But then I've been working my way out and I'm like, okay, well, what has he been in? And I watched I'm Dying Up Here, and it's a stand-up comedy TV show that went on for 2 seasons on Showtime. Oh my god, I just binged it in like a week and it was so good. It's like my new Freaks and Geeks, and I knew that it ended. Same with Freaks and Geeks. I knew Freaks and Geeks ended before I binged it all, but when it's over, it just hurts. It's like it ended on a cliffhanger. So good. And I don't think everybody thought it was good, but I thought it was really good. So I've been watching that this week, and I think I'm going to rewatch it. But I actually refrained from, I do this thing when I watch TV a lot of times, and I have to Google stuff because the suspense just kills me. I'm like, I cannot wait to see if X happens, and I Google it. So I did that with a show. I actually did that with Modern Family, and like one of the characters on Modern Family gets pregnant, and she has this boyfriend in the beginning of the show. So at the time I was like, I've got to know because I want them to stay together forever, blah, blah, blah. And I Google it, and whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm happy with that. And then later in the series, she gets this other boyfriend that I love even more. And I'm like, oh man, I ruined it for myself, and it's a yucky feeling. So my boyfriend was kind of like, see, that's why you don't Google stuff while you're watching it. And then the worst thing I ever did was I thought somebody won Project Runway on a season that we were watching together, and it was who I wanted to win, and he didn't. So I really played myself on that one. So on this series, I did not Google anything. But super good. Super, super, super good. I know some of them are supposed to be composite characters or based on real people, but I could never really get an idea of who was who. I think one of them's supposed to be Bill Hicks. It can be risky looking stuff up while watching an older show. Some wiki pages are good about not having spoilers, others not so much. I've said this before, but the first time I ever watched Breaking Bad, somebody told me how it ended. Like, somebody walked in the room while I was watching the first episode and was like, huh, this, and this. And I was like, who would do that? Oh, probably pretty close. We're 4:23. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and draw at 4:30. I'm about done with this mini, whether I'm done with it or not. And what I might do, my plan is I will kind of clean up the mini. I've said this before, but I paint better right here. Like, you can't really see, but like this. And it's just not really conducive to stream. So I'll probably clean it up in that way. Yeah, hashtag freeze open. I'm watching Ink Masters, and I can't stand some of the people. I want to know if they leave, but I can't check, or I'll find out who won the season. Oh my gosh, a friend of a friend told another one the twist in The Sixth Sense because he wanted them to come out to the bar rather than stay home and watch the movie. Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh. Oh. That's hilarious. I know, I think it was Billy Crystal who spoiled it. Somebody spoiled it on an award show and basically was like, well, if you haven't watched it yet, like, tough ass or something. How many till 2 giveaways? I think I should be able to tell. One of these screens Justin has given me access to should tell me that. Whether or not I'll be able to find it is another story. Okay. Okay, no. Yeah. 1. Okay, follow. 2. Okay, so we've got 5 there. 1 there. 1. 2 more. 2 more, and we've got 2 giveaways. Okay. Oh my gosh, they stayed home and did not clue in until the end of the movie. Oh, that's hilarious. I have a friend who tells me how stuff ends. Like, I don't know, when you're younger, I think you don't know you don't know people as well. So, like, I knew she was, whatever, like, I knew things about her. I knew her personality, but there were, like, quirks I didn't get yet. And this girl will tell you the twist of a movie to try and get you to watch it and doesn't realize that's part of it. Oh, thank you, Nomad Zeke. So we're going to give away 2 now. We'll draw 2. So get your hashtag freeze in. So she told me about the Prestige, I think, the Magician movie. She told me the twist of that, and I watched it, and I figured there was something else coming. Like, that wasn't the big twist, and it was. And I was like, really? And she's like, well, yeah, Spoon, she kind of said the same thing. She was like, I don't really care if I know what happens, I still like it. Yeah, we're gonna call this done. I'm gonna clean up the details and I'll show you guys later. So today we'll just make it like extra special. Let's make sure I have it first. Oh, yeah, I do. Okay, so today I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like pick a tarot card and I'm gonna base whatever I paint next on some sort of symbol in it and maybe the color scheme too. That's the one thing I don't like. I really like the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, but the colors are a little weird. Oh, M. Night Shyamalan. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I don't know. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan. Some people don't. On the other side, I have a friend who will close his eyes, plug his ears, and la 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 to himself. I did that. On the last Harry Potter book, somebody tried to read me the last little bit, and I was like, I will scream. Okay, so I'm gonna draw our two winners. Okay. Chef of Love 78 and Bean Mitch. Congratulations. We are gonna send you the ReaperCon triad. So if anybody in chat will type in exclamation point I won something question mark, you'll get instructions. It will tell you to send an email with some information. One thing being the show number that you won on. So this is Painting Platinum 63. So I'm going to do my little tarot card and hope it's something that's not super complicated, because I've been thinking about these and I'm like, oh man, that wouldn't be easy to find. But somebody mentioned I can always modify it. So I'm going to say that one. All right. Knight of Cups. Oh, let me show those. Yeah, I'm going to show them. So while I grab that, Knight of Cups. So like the knights are all in motion, sort of, in some way. Like there's a knight that's running. There's a knight that's walking. I think there's a knight that's like up on its, like the horse is kind of up, like it's pulling back. And then there's a knight that's stopped. This knight, I think, is the walking knight. Yeah, this is the walking knight. So he's walking. There's an oasis, and it's in a desert. He's holding a cup. This reminds me of those. Are they paladins? The knights that have little animals on their head. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan. I should paint for Sir Forescale. I should, but I think there's some good ones. So we'll do the Knight of Cups. Oh, you know what else? He's got little fishies on him. There's a lot of little fishies in the Cups cards. From what I was taught, they're about matters of the heart and emotion and feeling. So yeah, that's that. So this is the Black Pearl. This is Rusted Anchor, though it is not sparkly. It just has sparkles from, because I was working on sparkle stuff. And this is Brinewind Brass. So you'll notice this one, is a lot darker. So it's going to be like subtle sparkly. It's still sparkly. It's still metallic, as you can see, but this one's like real bright and crazy. This one's more sheer because the more pigment you add to it, the more it's going to take away from the sparkle. So this is like something for everyone sort of thing. If you like a less sparkly metallic, just right out of the bottle, that's going to be this. And it's really dark and kind of mysterious, not mysterious, but dark and moody. I don't know. But, and then that one is, so it's a little warmer than most brass, but you know what? It's pretty. And its color, it's like flat color, is the kind of greenish color that brass is. So yeah, and then, like I said, the Rusted Anchor, which is a nice rusty color. So you can sort of tell how that goes sort of sheer. Oh yeah, so you won the ReaperCon triad. This is what you won. And a pokey tool. Yes, keeper of secrets, Courtney. Yeah, exactly. And the wings on his helmet. Might be a Sadie for scale. Um, so yeah, so we'll do something different next time, and hopefully I will have finished her like little details. It'll be mostly this, but my detail work on stream is just not that great. I might be able to like if I like got way down here, I'd be good at it, but I would have to put a camera on the table. It'd be an odd visual. Maybe one day. Let's see. Daniel, Mounted Crusader would be a good option for Knight of Cups. I'm gonna do it. I'm going to look it up for sure. I won't say I'll do it because I don't know. I'm a wild card even for me. Tasing Keeper of the Vault. I could go full screen paint cam. That's true. And I used to do that. But Justin was like, it's a lot better if people can see you. And the cam could look in from the side. And you could all be right up close and personal for my horrible posture. I'm sure we all have a little bit of it. But yeah, that's that. So, Justin and I are talking about adding another day or doing something. I would, always left-handed, like the card. Yeah, I like that. My biggest goal is to get a stream back where I can have Justin on because we had so much fun, and I don't know, I just think it's cool to like have sort of a hangout podcast, or not podcast. This is pretty, I always say before we would stream, we'd just be on Discord. I would say that's me and Justin's pretend podcast that nobody can hear because we'd get it all talked about and sorted out. Mostly things that we don't talk about at Reaper. So, whatever, world events and such. But yeah, so that's my goal, is to have one with Justin present. I don't know if it's going to work out because he's really busy. He's got a lot of little details in his job. So, oh, I love that Albeva's in. We have a lot of fun. So, I'm glad you could be here today, Two Spoons. Saturdays are weird. Some people can make it, some people can't. But I'm glad for everybody that does. Like, I have a lot of fun. This is a very enjoyable part of what I do here, and I love it. So yeah, I am going to find us a raid. Let's see. I've got so many tabs. I'm gonna do an art one. Oh, what's going on here? Okay, this looks like terrain. Okay, it says 3D printing. I don't know what this is. I can't tell if he's printing or painting. I guess I won't choose it then. I don't want to do something that I don't know what it is, but it looked promising. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do Paige S. Harris. She made the dinosaur mugs. She's making something else right now. So, oh, I should have done the Mutt Mansion. Yeah, exactly, Spoons. Let me do... that. Okay, so we're gonna raid Paige S. Harris, and I will see you next time, and probably on Reaper Live. Maybe we'll have some more colors to show. Mwah. Thank you. Be safe. Have fun.